Hello everyone, it's Katie here from the Scrappy Sisters, and I am up with the 12 by 12 layout again, working with Rosie's studio this month. And this is the Hello Honey collection that I am using, brand new Rosie Studio collection, and it is beautiful. So this layout, I am definitely embracing all things floral. So this collection had a amazing floral ephemera pack, as well as like a regular ephemera pack, and it also had a set of puffy stickers that were all like leaf motif, and I just wanted to kind of really embrace that. So I pulled out some of the more floral 12 by 12 papers to create my background. I am using white cardstock as my base, and then paper. I'm using some big paper pieces just to show off the papers, and also just really love the blue in this collection. I'm a sucker for blue. It's one of my favorite colors, and I love scrapbooking with it. And so this has a really beautiful navy, and then as well as some lighter blues as well. So it's just beautiful. So I'm layering up the floral papers, and I do decide to also add a couple of strips to the right hand side as well, just to balance it out. I thought it would have looked totally fine like this if I had have left it, but then I thought, you know what, I'm going to add more paper. Why not? I love the papers, and I reverse the order of the paper. So I put the darker one on the bottom and the lighter one on the top, just for funsies. And I do flip the paper around, so the blue paper around it, so the design is going the right way. There we go. And then I'm just using my trimmer, my page trimmer, to trim off the excess because I want it to be nice and straight. And yeah, we are so excited to be working with Rosie Studio this month. Loved creating with this collection. I think, so I've got 4 layouts with this collection going up this month, I'm pretty sure. And Jess has 4 layouts going up with the other new collection, which I think is called Jumping in Puddles. I haven't been working with that collection, so my title might be a little off, but it is also beautiful. Loving the colour palette of both of the new collections by Rosie Studio. They are a New Zealand company, if you weren't aware. They do ship internationally and are extremely reasonably priced. So definitely go check them out. I'll leave their link in the description box down below. These photos are black and white professional photos that we got taken in, I think it was November last year. Yeah, it was. It was the end of November last year. Love them. You may have seen me play around with a few. I think I scrapped a family photo already. I can't remember. But I have scrapped a couple of photos. I know I scrapped one of Danny and I from the same photo shoot. I love these photos of our kids. We couldn't choose which one we wanted. I love the back shot of both of them with Lincoln holding Addison's hand and he's looking down at her. Addison couldn't, actually, she had only just learnt how to sit like the week before we took these photos. So she was very unsteady, and we're just outside in inner city Melbourne, just on a like concrete footpath. So I was like right out of frame, ready to run in and grab her when she fell, which she did because she'd only just learned how to sit. But love how these photos turned out. And the one where they're looking, well, they're not looking at the camera, but they're, you know, facing forward. They're reading a book together. They're just really lovely images. So super happy with how these turned out, and we've got them blown up on our walls, which is cool. I just wanted to include them in our album as well. And so I've got the 2 black and white photos, so I knew I could go with like a lot of, you know, color and things like that, because the black and white photos are super striking against like all of the color that I have going on. So I pulled out the floral ephemera pack, and I'm just playing around. Now the floral ephemera pack comes with a whole heap of florals that have the white background, and then a whole heap of florals that don't. There's, oh my gosh, hundreds. How much? 130 pieces in this ephemera pack. So many florals. And so, yeah, you get 2 of everything. So there was heaps for me to work with. I decided just to use the ones with the white border, keep it consistent. And so I was going to go like completely crazy with my florals. But as I was kind of playing around, I thought, you know what? I don't want to cover the photos really because, you know, they're so lovely. And I need the photos to, you know, be visible because it kind of, it helps. I don't know. They're just really cute photos. I didn't want to cover them. And so I ended up going sort of less is more. So I've only got 1 large floral ephemera piece and then a couple of leafy pieces in each of the clusters. So I've gone with 3 clusters, even though there's 2 photos, kept it with the visual triangle. Really, really happy with how this all came together. Very easy layout. I mean, it helps when you're working with such a lovely collection that really just kind of puts itself together, basically. I love working with collections because everything matches, so you don't have to I'm someone who loves to keep things sort of very similar, and I really struggle mixing and matching things from different collections. So I love that these collections by Rosie Studio have so much stuff in them, and you can create such different looks. One of my other layouts is sort of like a really yellow focused layout. There's a lot of purple in this collection. There's just a lot that you can do. There's a lot of pinks, there's a lot of greens. Like I've tried to go with kind of sort of trying to do different looks for each of my layouts, just to show you how versatile the collections are. Lots of florals. So obviously I love florals. I will put florals on every single layout. That makes my heart happy. And I love florals. So when there's floral ephemera packs, part of me usually goes, I'll have 2. I don't need to do that with Rosie Studio because I have double of everything anyway. Loving the amount of product there is to work with here. So I'm just creating my clusters. I did stick my photos down flat onto the page, and I popped up my large floral piece in each of the clusters. I could have added more dimension. Absolutely, I could have popped the photos up. I deliberately didn't because my albums are just far too full. I have, a finite amount of space that I can store my albums in. And so I'm trying really, really, really hard to only have one level of dimension, if that makes sense. So to only sort of pop up by one on the page. So generally speaking, I'll either pop up a photo or ephemera. And so in this time, I've popped up the ephemera. And I'm super happy with how it looks. I really love these black and white photos. I love working with black and white photos. I forget to edit them into black and white before I go to print them. So it's very rare that I work with black and white photos, even though when I create a layout like this, I think, gee, those black and white photos look good. So I really need to remember to edit more of my photos so I can, create more with the black and white look. Anyway, I probably could have edited this part out, but I've literally left in my entire process for you. I've just sped it up a little bit. I do come in with some of the puffy leaf motifs, and I am adding 2 into each of the clusters. I'm sort of layering them on top of the ephemera leaves that I've got there, and just kind of varying it up a bit so they've all got kind of something different in their clusters. I just like the different texture that the puffy stickers kind of give, and they just add a little bit of extra something to the little clusters. So I love that. So as I said, I'm adding 2 of the leaves into each of the clusters. And then I will come in just to finish off the layout with some of the enamel shapes. And I do end up choosing the circles to go with. And I will add in some circles into each of the clusters. I did think about adding a little puffy sticker kind of one of the actual little images, but I didn't in the end. I thought, no, I'm going to keep it florals and just add some of the circles. Oh, I am thinking about my title at this point. So I do pull out the puffy word phrases, and I was just playing around a bit trying to see what kind of title I could use. There were a few things I could have used, but I do end up going with a few of the singular words that were on the puffy sheet. It's hard to know whether they were supposed to go together or not, but I've gone with love our happy life. So I think the life was supposed to come from the part that says sweet life, and it could have even been our sweet life was sort of the title that Rosie Studio had envisaged when they were creating it. But the good thing I love about these is you can definitely mix and match, and you can use the other mini puffy alphas in this collection to mix and match titles. Really versatile. Love the colours. They're all those pastel beautiful colours, and so I don't know, thought the title was cute, so that's what we're going with. It did take me a minute to stick them down. Possibly should have added some glue to reinforce them, but we'll see how they go once I've, had the pages floating around in my craft room for a while before they make it to an album. So we'll see how we go. But it does take me just a minute to get them in the position that I want them in, and reading well on the page there. And then, as I said, I'm finishing off with some enamel dots. So from the enamel shapes set in the collection, and I've gone with the circles or the dots, and I'm adding 3 to each cluster, trying to vary up the shape and the size and the colour. I didn't realise at the start that they were different sizes, so the first one has all the same size, but that's okay. These things happen. I think I'm totally done. So have a check out in the description box. I will link to Rosie Studio. If you have never used their products before, go and check them out. Thank them so much for having us as guest designers this month, and look forward to seeing the rest of our layouts that are coming up on our channel. Thanks guys. Bye.